Right.
I'm basically going to say, for those people who are simple-minded like me, if you're a layperson, now there was a question from, I think, Sumati, to say, what do I do with someone who has got low emotional
Oh yeah.
intelligence?
Yes, I saw
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So my question to her before I answer that is, how did you derive that someone has got low emotional intelligence?
Okay. Yeah, that's a good
Right?
question. Yeah.
It's like telling, someone who can't read and write.
Yes.
You are saying that they are not intelligent. That's not true, because they never went to
Okay.
school. So
Right.
they have not found a way to articulate that part, the academic intelligence that you're talking about.
Right.
But they would be able to do a lot of other stuff that we can't do.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
when it comes to emotional intelligence, my belief about emotional intelligence, and I don't think there's any data against it, I don't think so.
Right.
Unless you're born with a physical condition,
Okay.
right?
Right.
Physical condition is mentally a part of your brain is missing, not working, got stuck, right?
Okay.
If
Right.
unless you have a physical condition, I do think that everyone, as long as we are human, and this is emotional intelligence is uniquely human, right?
Right. Yeah.
We all have emotional intelligence. Whether
Yeah.
we choose to use it or we're not using it, I
Right.
think that's the question. It's not
Right.
whether
Right.
you have it or not,
Right. Right.
right?
Right.
So
Okay.
what is emotional intelligence?
Yes.
Emotional intelligence is basically, so if you look at emotions and intelligence, right?
Right.
Emotions is what on a day-to-day layman term we say feelings, right?
Feelings.
Now, feelings,
Feelings.
feelings,
Okay.
right? That's,
Feelings.
I mean, we
Okay.
use it interchangeably. I'm not using the
Yes.
science
Yes.
thing. Yeah. So,
Right.
so emotion is when you're feeling. We have different sort of feelings, and that differentiates us, right?
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
Right.
can you imagine people are praying for people whom we have never met in life?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? And that's
Yeah.
feeling, right? All
Yeah.
right. Now, what is intelligence? Now, IQ is measured. So when you go for an IQ test, which I would never dare,
Yeah.
right? Even I wouldn't dare. When you go for an IQ test, what happens is that they look at how you process what I call logical
Right.
information quickly and correctly.
Okay.
You need to be quick, you need to be correct also. Rather, you need
Right.
to be correct first and then you got to be quick. So
Right.
the faster you are, assuming you're correct, you will be quick.
Right.
And the faster you are, you have higher IQ.
Okay.
Now, EQ is very simple. Your emotion
Right.
is data.
Okay.
Your emotion is telling you the story you have told yourself.
Okay.
Now, you need
Okay.
to check whether that emotions,
Mm-hmm.
whether you have processed the story that was
Right.
happening
Mm-hmm.
first correctly,
Mm-hmm.
whether you've processed it correctly,
Right.
and can you do that quickly?
Okay.
All right. So, for
All right.
example, again, yes, I'm going to use you for all negative examples. Okay.
Oh no. Okay.
Please, we'll make up later. Now, let's say, let's say, I, for some reason, I think you don't like me.
Yeah.
I have that thing.
Again.
You don't like
Again.
me. Yeah, low self-esteem. So let's say I think you don't like me, right? And then
Okay.
you
Right.
happen to be in a meeting with me,
Yeah.
right? And
Right.
then as you're in a meeting with me, you
Right.
disagree with my idea.
Okay.
Now, what happens is there'll be so many things going on. I'll focus on, you see, this fellow Red doesn't like me. That's
Right.
why he disagreed with my idea.
Okay.
All right.
Right.
He discriminates me because I'm a woman,
Right.
or he
Things like you can
discriminates.
you can keep
I mean,
you can
so
keep thinking about a lot of different things, reasons, and all that, right?
right. And so
Yeah.
what's happening is that what happened was you disagreed with my idea.
Okay.
That's what
Just that.
happened.
No. That's a
That's all.
fact.
That's a
Yeah.
fact. That's the
Yeah.
event, right? But what I've
Yeah.
done is I've dramatized it in my head. See,
Yes.
I knew Vyasa didn't like me. He always has to disagree with me. Now, so when I perceive and put that information into my system,
Right.
it's going to cause me emotions, right? So if I think you are purposely disagreeing with me because you don't like me, what am I going
Mm-hmm.
to feel? I'm going to
Yeah.
feel anger towards you. I'm going to feel irritated towards you.
Yeah. Although you just stated a fact and that you disagree to something, right?
Yeah. So there's
Mm.
a lot of what I call our own lenses that we look at the world with our own lenses. So if
Yeah.
you have sad lens or negative lens, right? I will say unclear lens lah. Maybe
Yes,
not.
yes.
Yeah. Okay. So if your lens is unclear,
Right,
everything will look unclear for you. So first
right,
is to have an accurate perception of what's happening.
right,
Now, if so, how do I do that? If I think Vyasa doesn't like me, the first question I'm going to ask is, how do I know it's true?
right.
What evidence do I have to know it's true? Now, and the thing is about positive thinking is this, right?
Mm.
Uh, even if you have a positive thinking, I'll ask you to question it.
Interesting. Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you can question a negative thought thinking,
Yeah,
you should also question a positive thinking because you can
it's
be
very
just morally
important.
positive, right, for everything.
No, you know why? In meetings, I've seen this happen, right? There are
Mm-hmm.
some fellows when the boss is talking, it's like, yes, boss, yes, boss, yes, boss. You know
Mm-hmm.
why? Because I know my boss has got a big fat ego,
Mm-hmm.
my perception.
Right, right,
Okay? Now, if my
right,
boss has a big fat ego, if I
right.
disagree with him, what's going to happen? I'm going to get into trouble.
Yeah, true.
So I have programmed myself, whatever my boss says, I say, yes, boss. So the boss
Mm.
need to start thinking when everybody agrees with you,
Right.
whether they are really agreeing with you, because they have
Yes,
whether they
yes.
have a basis to agree with you.
Right.
All right. So in fact, when we go into when clients have a need, so typically, when we do a team building program, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
what I love watching is I like to watch how they run meetings.
Right.
All right. So there are two types of meeting, like families lah. So if
Yeah.
you observe families when you have
Yes.
dinner, you
Right.
look at the children,
Right.
how they behave. All right.
Okay.
So there
Okay.
are some homes which still operate like army camps, right? You come, you sit down, you eat, you don't talk,
Yeah. True.
right?
True. True.
Now, and a lot of parents take a lot of pride, and I don't think it's
Right.
wrong to take pride because
Right.
I can't take pride like that.
Right.
My children are so well behaved. My son, you know what? He's 27. He never disagrees with me. Even
Mm.
if before he goes out with a girl, he has to get the permission from the mother and father.
Wow.
Never grew
That
up.
that's
Huh?
dangerous.
But you see, people take a lot of pride because there's obedience, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, the word obedience is to understand first and then to obey, not to
Yeah.
obey blindly,
Right. Right.
right?
Right.
So I think we have forgotten the understand part, right?
Right.
I say
Right.
you do, right?
Right.
So you have, and in organizations, you also have people who don't disagree with the boss,
Mm-hmm.
correct? Now, I'm
Yes.
not saying go out there and disagree for the sake of disagreeing. I'm not saying
Yeah.
that, right? But
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying that um, I'm just saying that we need to be aware that when people are very quiet, when people all agree, I know when I'm running a team building program, my job is to stir them to speak what is under the table.
Right.
The real issues, whether it's families, any form of relationship,
Mm.
it can be friendship, it can be family, it can be work, right? What
Right.
is going to make us come out as champions is the issues that we hide under the table, the
Mm.
issues that we are afraid to bring up and talk because we are often afraid that people will withdraw from the relationship. A lot of us are in what we call emotionally blackmailing relationship. If you speak the truth, I don't want to friend you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you have young children, they will tell you, my friend
Yes.
won't friend me if I don't give him money, if I don't share my food, if I don't do
Yes.
this. So we start emotional blackmailing at a very young age,
Yes. Yes.
right?
I suppose it's quite natural, right? I mean, it's a naturally occurring thing that people sometimes emotionally blackmail, the other.
I I'm I won't say it's natural. No,
Okay.
I think we've been trained that way because
Okay.
I think one of those things, especially in this part of the world
Yeah.
and with traditional cultures,
Right.
we have confused the idea of identity,
Right.
right? Because you've been drummed that, for example, in some cultures we are drummed that if you talk back to your parents, you'll go to
Right.
hell.
Mm-hmm. True.
Correct.
True. True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
There are that one. Yeah.
if I mean, think about people who are struggling with their spiritual life or their religious life, because they cannot go to the temple and the church and the mosque. I mean, it's a struggle for them because they left God there. But it's
Mm.
years of programming.
Right.
I think God is giving us, for those who believe in God, God is giving us an opportunity to recognize that, it's good you go to church and temples and mosques, but you know what? I am with you,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
I mean, we say it, but whether we believe it is a different thing, right? So
Yes.
with parents, I think so. There's been a lot of years of programming.
Yeah.
All right. I
Yeah.
have parents who will come to me and say, my son wants to have a earring,
Right.
teenage son.
Right.
I told him, over my dead body. I said, you no need to kill yourself for a earring. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not saying allow it, don't allow it. I think that's
Yeah.
our personal choice.
Yes.
But
Yes.
but I think we take adults or people who are older
Right.
or people who are more powerful. When we are
Right.
in power, we abuse the power by not allowing people to be themselves.
Mm.
And the
Mm.
power that is given to us is sometimes as parents, sometimes as older siblings,
Right.
sometimes in senior positions as managers, CEOs, and leaders,
Right.
sometimes in very, very high positions of the religious order.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, listen to Spider
Yeah.
Man. He says, with great power comes great
That's great.
responsibility,
Yeah.
right? But we have power bestowed upon us, but are we using that power responsibly, or are we using it to stump people? Are we using that to control people,
Right.
right? That I mean, this is a modern kind of slavery that we're talking about,
Yes.
right? So I think that's basically it. To say that, do I believe it's natural? No, I don't think it's natural. I think we program. I have met people. I'll call them either illiterate or have had low education. Right?
Right.
There's so much to learn from them. Right? I've learned so much about motherhood from my mom, who's illiterate. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, even though I'm fighting with her, every time I have a problem with my children, the first thing I'll ask myself is, okay, what would my mother have done?
Right.
Because she's so brilliant with what I call her common sense. Lah.
Mm.
She's so brilliant, right?
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't mean I agree with everything she says, no, but,
Yes.
given her circumstances, she's so brilliant,
Right.
right? She can think of how to manage different things. So and you would find that when you talk to really very simple people out there, they can actually give you so much of wisdom
Yeah.
because they think about it. I think sometimes
Mm.
education makes us take things for granted. We
Must be a
assume
thunderstorm there,
there's a thunder.
right?
uh, I hope you're at a safe place.
Yeah, I'm
Are
good.
you safe?
I'm good. Too.
I'm also safe.
It's still
Yeah.
bright and sunny here.
Okay. So I hope everyone else is safe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we tend to sometimes, just because I went to school, I think I'm emotionally intelligent.
Mm.
Just because I am a woman, I should know how to cook.
Mm-hmm.
It's not true, right?
Right.
So you basically have skills that you practice. If you pay attention to your emotions, which you had
Right.
from the time you were born,
Right.
if you grew in an environment where you were allowed to talk about it,
Right.
right? And if you are around relationships where emotions are central,
Right.
important, accepted, and embraced, you will find
Right.
these are people who are emotionally very intelligent.
Right.
Not because they went for a course, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because what you'll
Mm.
find that if you grow up in a situation where you always were stressed and you didn't feel safe, couldn't talk back to my mother, couldn't talk back to my father, couldn't give my opinion because I was the youngest child, middle child, whatever child, or I was a girl in the family. And then I go to school, I'm not allowed to speak because I'm not an A student, right? So there were so many reasons why people shut us up, right?
Right.
Yeah. And if you
Yeah.
grow in that environment, you learn how to survive.
Yeah.
And when you learn how to survive, you learn how to block out the real you, right?
Mm.
Because
By
you're not going,
surviving.
yeah, you, because the need was survival, right?
Right, right.
Right. And I'm not going to blame you because you needed to survive. That is the right thing to do.
Yes,
Yeah. So then,
yes,
even though I'm feeling hurt, I will not tell you I'm feeling hurt. Um, I have to tell you. So one of the there's this lady, you can find her on Facebook, and you should interview her, Dr. Anasuya. Now, I was attending a talk, and one question they asked is that why children, you know how parents, especially mothers, lah, they're very careful. We want the
yeah,
children to tell us all the truth, especially the deep, dark secrets,
yes,
because we value how important we are if our children tell us the deepest, dark secrets,
yeah.
right? So, what Dr. Anastasia said is this, right? Have you ever thought that your children are afraid to tell you the truth because they're afraid to hurt you?
Mm.
And that has resonated a lot with me,
Right,
right? Because we don't think about what the children are experiencing. We are very selfish, you know. I
right.
want to feel like I'm in charge, so you tell me, right? So what happens
Mm-hmm.
is that when you're stressed and you have a need to protect yourself, and that's rightly
Right,
so,
right,
right?
right.
What we do is we learn how to draw walls around us.
Mm-hmm.
What we are supposed to learn in difficult situations is that we need to learn how to draw boundaries.
Right.
But instead of boundaries, we build walls.
Okay. What is a boundary and what's a wall?
Okay, so what's a boundary between one state to another state? Can you see it?
Right.
But you know it, right?
Uh, yeah, correct. There is
Correct?
just a imaginary line.
It is a line that is necessary to keep the relationship in a safe space.
Right.
I
Okay.
so our boundaries with some relationship you may not have boundaries.
Okay.
You can say whatever you want, right? With some relationships we have boundaries, right? I mean, you won't invite your friends to come and stay with you all the time,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
So we all have all these boundaries in relationships, right? But
Okay.
sometimes when it comes to negative experiences, when someone has hurt you, or you feel someone didn't keep up to their word, then what happens is that you, instead of building boundaries to safeguard yourself, you build walls. Now when
Which is
you build walls,
permanent.
yeah, so when you think about building walls, right, what happens when you build a wall? I built a
Which,
wall because now I am so safe in my castle
right.
or my prison,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you know what? When I'm so safe in my castle or prison, I know that you can never touch me, you can never hurt me.
Right.
But you see, as much as if you live in a castle or a prison, I rather call it a prison, you might not be able to hurt me, yes, but I would also not be able to receive any love.
Mm-hmm.
So you will find that some people feel very, very safe by talking objectively.
Right.
Let's just keep to the facts. Don't bring emotions. Leave your feelings at the gate,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Okay.
these are things that, you know, oh, you're a man, you know, don't be so sisila, right?
Mm.
You're a man. How can you cry? I mean, you're a man, you know, did you check that or not?
Right,
Right?
right, right.
How can you cry? Right? We say this to our sons,
Yes.
right? And I think these are the things that we actually do, and we don't teach our children to how to build boundaries.
Right.
So we teach people how to build walls,
Mm. Okay.
right?
How do
And
you build boundaries instead of walls?
I think first and foremost, you need to be, for me, the part of the identity is very clear.
Okay.
Okay, so maybe I'll tell you two things that helps. So I think there are two things human beings want. Okay, and I'd love to hear anyone who disagrees with me because it'll give
Okay.
me a lot more thoughts to think about.
Right.
One is we all want to be known, to be differentiated.
Mm-hmm.
I am the only Malayali who has ever walked on earth, full stop.
Right.
Whether you believe in Adam and Eve or whether you believe you evolved, there's only one Malayali with my DNA.
Okay.
So we want to be differentiated.
Right.
Now, so you want to be yourself. You don't want people telling you who you are. You want to define yourself.
Right.
We don't like to be compared.
Right.
You agree, right? Now,
Mm-hmm.
on the other hand, Malarveli can't live alone. She
Mm-hmm.
has to integrate with the community, with the society, with the family to have
Right.
relationships. Because
Right.
without relationships, we will die, full stop.
Mm-hmm.
All right, science says,
Yeah.
all right, babies who are not touched will die.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
We are a
So,
social animal.
yeah,
We need to be social.
I'm not too sure whether I'll use the word social animal. So, if you look at the mammals, right, it's not so much,
Right.
we don't socialize
Right.
because it's fun. We socialize to survive. The
Right.
herd mentality is a survival mentality.
Right.
It's not a loving mentality.
Okay. Okay.
It's
Okay.
like
It's a
the
survival mentality. Lah.
yeah. I mean, if you think about it, right? So a lot of times we tend to say, and this is a controversial one. Some people are going to hate me for this, you know. We say, oh, parents' love is unconditional.
Right.
Really, we expect so much from
Mm.
our children, isn't it?
Right. Right.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
expect a
it
lot.
is conditional, lah, actually.
It is. I have, however, seen unconditional love among parents. The ones
Right.
that I have witnessed is, those parents who have special children.
Right.
Oh my God, that is really, I think, uh, having a visual of how God's unconditional love can be. I
Mm.
mean, imagine having to treat your child as a baby for the rest of your life.
Yeah. That's
That's
tough.
the closest. Yeah, yeah. But they do it, and some of them do it with so much of joy.
Yeah.
And so
True.
for me, that's
True.
the yeah. So yeah, I think that's the part that we tend to we have expectations we need to accept, and it's okay to have expectations.
Right.
No one said you shouldn't have expectations.
Right. Right.
Be a normal human being before you decide to become a yogi or an angel or beyond that lah.
Right.
Before
Right. Right.
you recognize your spiritual being. All
Right.
right. Yeah.
Okay. Some Q&As coming up.
Mm.
Some
Okay.
questions coming up already on the screen.
Okay. Which one do
Okay.
you want to answer first?
Yeah, let's just go to first questions by Sumati, who sent a question earlier, much earlier, which is someone has low EQ. Can something be done to increase their EQ?
Can
All
knock
right.
their head.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think the question is very much. I have met people with low EQ. These are what
Okay.
I call shock sendiri people lah.
Right. Right. Right.
Shock
And how
sendiri
do
means
they know? How does someone know that they have low EQ?
I don't know whether they know or not because you see, I am very conflicted in this situation, right? So for
Yeah.
me, is if I meet someone with low EQ, and I have worked with some people who have low EQ, the
Yeah.
first thing is people with low EQ need to be able to accept feedback.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they knew they had low EQ and if they thought EQ was important and if it was affecting their relationship and results,
Mm-hmm.
they would care to change.
Okay, so one of the ways people can know they're having low EQ is the surrounding. People are not
Feedback.
getting what feedback lah. So the
One
feedback
is
is
results. Sorry, Avia.
yeah,
So one is
right,
results, but I'm not too sure whether that works because some people will. So it all depends what I believe. Like, say, for example,
right,
I have no friends.
okay,
So, now when I run conferences, one of the very common question about mental being questions, mental well-being questions, people ask me is, I have no one to talk to.
right,
I mean, I feel sorry for you, yes, but have
mm-hmm,
you ever thought, how come you can't make one good friend? What's your
mm,
contribution in it?
right,
Instead of sounding the whole world is bad towards me, have you ever
right,
wondered why people find it difficult to being around you?
yeah, okay,
Right? So
that's a
I
good
think we
one,
need
yeah,
to ask, we need to ask ourselves that question. We need to really look hard in the mirror, and if you can't see it, go
right,
and ask not your friend but your enemy,
mm,
because they will tell you
mm,
the truth, uncensored truth.
right. They don't
Your,
have
your
anything to lose. Sir.
Yeah, your friends will coat it with sugar and icing. You'll eat the cake and forget about it.
Right.
You might miss. So it's really good to have people either who are very brave, friends who are very brave, who will tell you the truth. And they are amazing friends. I mean, you have brave friends
Yes,
who will
yes,
tell you,
yes,
oh, yeah, brave
yes,
friends are very good.
yes.
So brave friends. But also remember, what I have learned is that, some friends will come and tell me, Malar, okay, since you talk about feedback, tell me the truth, right? After I tell
Hmm.
the truth, they stop being friends now. I have also lost friends because I can't keep my mouth
Right,
sit,
right, right.
right. Have lost
Okay,
clients as well.
okay.
So I think we need to discern whether people are really looking for feedback or not. So
Yeah.
one way I discern now is that when people ask me for feedback, I observe them a little bit to see whether they are really seeking self improvement.
Hmm.
If they are not seeking,
Yeah.
I have chosen not to give feedback.
Right.
Yeah,
Understand. I
I've
think,
I've
yeah,
I've also learned not to give feedback when you are not asked.
yeah, yes,
Okay,
yeah.
that's difficult for an extrovert, but I can do it now.
Okay,
Okay,
so we
next
have another
question.
question.
Mm,
Okay, this is related to the question now from Farida in LinkedIn.
mm.
And how do we know if we need to develop our emotional intelligence?
Ha, wow. Do a test, no? I will ask you one way of really defining the simple way is that ask yourself, do you at least have 3 to 5 friends whom you can
Okay,
call
right.
at any point of the time in the day without asking their permission?
Hmm.
That's for me the
Okay,
simplest one. Huh?
okay.
Do you
That's
have
interesting.
friends? Yeah, because some of us say, I was in another group and they were saying, how we've become a society that needs to ask permission before we call. Can I call
Mm-hmm.
you now? Can you speak?
Right, right, right.
I think so sad. That's why befrienders and all there are many calls.
Because you don't have to tell them that you're going to call them, right?
Yeah,
You
and
just
then
pick up the phone and call them.
so can you imagine the walls that we have actually put up in our families?
Yeah,
Right? I mean, I hope my friends can call me whenever they want, right? Anyway, that's a
yeah.
message to all my friends. If you need to call me, just call me, okay?
Okay,
All right. Yeah. So, how do you
okay.
know if you need to develop? So, one is ask yourself the type. So, one very good gauge of people who are emotionally intelligent is number one, you have good, genuine, high performing relationships.
Hmm.
And
Okay.
so high performing relationships in your personal life, right? Now professionally, the ones that I've seen of managers and leaders who are emotionally intelligent, the people have a lot of respect for emotionally intelligent managers. I'm not talking about likability factor.
Right,
People like you because of your personality,
right.
but people respect you for the way you are and for the way you respect them.
Mm-hmm.
So
True.
that's another way of looking at it. Otherwise, just Google one of this EQ tests and do lah. And when you get
EQ
your
test
result,
online.
yeah, yeah, there are so many EQ profiles,
Okay,
right?
okay.
And an easy test would be whether you have awareness. Do you know who you are, who you're
Mm-hmm.
not?
Okay.
Yeah. Are you able to? So, are you the type who says, "Ayo, I cannot change. I
Right,
know I need to be more disciplined, but I cannot like be like this my whole life." The
right,
doctor told me, I need to take less sugar, but cannot lie, I will die without sugar.
right, right,
Right? Are you blaming the whole world? Or are you
right,
taking more responsibility? And there are so many checks that we can do for self awareness
right,
and self management. Social
right,
awareness, how do you respond to people around you? Do
right,
I think one feedback, if your social awareness is low and social skills
right,
are low, we hear this often. I've got this feedback as well, especially my
right,
children,
right,
where they
right.
tell you are not listening.
Okay.
My daughter used to do this amazing thing when she's talking to me, and yeah, ma. She will just hold my face and say, "Ma, look at me and listen." So she used to do that, right? And that's that's really great feedback about
Yes,
not being
yes,
present and listening. Yeah, your
yes,
skills.
yes,
And motivation is very much this, right? I mean, we do soft skills program, so sometimes we get calls. Can you come and motivate our people?
right,
No one can motivate anyone.
right.
I think what we
Okay,
can do is we get motivated by what we read, what we see, what we hear, because it switches on the button that was in you, something that you were searching.
right,
But for you to be switched on, you need to search,
right.
right? You need to be living. Like, a lot of people just exist in life, wake up in the morning, do the routine, and get on with
Okay,
life. Yeah.
okay,
Okay. Next one.
okay. Few questions coming up. Some more.
Mm.
From GD Naidu, our friend from
Oh,
LinkedIn.
my wonderful friend, scary friend.
Yes. Okay. And then he has two questions actually. So first one is, has there? We got just a few more questions and about
Sure.
10 more minutes. All right.
Okay.
So we'll go a little bit faster here now. And then from GD Naidu is, has there been ever a time where you felt you needed to change your behavior at work, and how did you do it? How do you do it? Yeah.
So many lah. I think GD,
Okay.
you're expecting to hear my deep dark secrets. I'll do that over coffee or one-on-one Zoom in. I'm not making a public confession now. But
Right.
typically me, I mean, I'm on my own, right? I'm on
Right.
my own. Some people call me a business owner. I think I'm self-employed because no
Okay.
one will employ me. To to be self-employed, to be on your own, if
Mm-hmm.
you don't shift your behaviors, you're not going to survive. People are not going to give you work.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We're
Okay.
not a large company where our what you call it, salary packages and privileges are great.
Right.
Right. The only reason people work with us, Hearts and Minds, is because they believe in our mission. They
Mm.
believe in the meaning of the work that we do.
Mm-hmm.
We wake up every day, every one of us in Hearts and Minds, or who's associated to Hearts and Minds, uh, we are here by choice,
Okay.
not by chance.
Okay.
Um, you know, I mean, really, there is really no other reason why people will want to work in our company. We are very,
Okay.
very small, right? But
Okay.
and we work with clients. Our clients have been with us. Some clients almost 20 years, right?
Wow.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah, yeah. That's one of those things that I feel very, very privileged and proud, right?
Yeah.
So we need to ask ourselves if we don't change now. So
Right.
if you want an ongoing relationship, naturally I have to make changes from the feedback. So
Right.
you need to build good relationships. The
Mm-hmm.
foundation is relationships for me at
Right.
work.
Right. Okay.
In life lah, right?
Okay.
For me, work and life is not different. That's me,
Right.
right?
Right.
uh, if I have a relationship with you, I'll work with you. If I don't have a relationship with you, then it's really challenging, right?
Right.
So for me, with new clients, I look at how to build a relationship first. I need a
Right.
basis of relationship. Number one.
Right.
Number two, then you look at feedback.
Right.
All right. And for someone like me who just love to be loved, feedback
Yeah.
is painful, right?
Yeah.
So it's very painful. And if anyone thinks receiving feedback is easy, it's not, right?
It's not.
Uh,
Yeah. It's
it's
not.
not. But you see, feedback should be painful, because if feedback is painful, that means you care about who you are.
Right. Right.
If negative feedback doesn't affect you, that means you don't care about who you are. Now,
Mm.
provided the people who are giving you feedback know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
So this is where you draw your boundaries now. So I mean, I told you I'm terrified of doing live, right, or
Mm-hmm.
videos. I've
Yes.
been, I'm trying to gain courage to do videos now. Why?
Yeah.
Because there's going to be all sorts of things that people are going to say,
Yeah. True. True. Some will
right?
like it. Some won't like it.
Mm. All
Yeah.
right. And you need to have an attitude about it. I realize now. So if you people who don't like me, my question is very simple. Do I know them? Do they know me? If they don't know me,
Yes.
it's okay lah. You don't have a reason to like me also,
Yes.
right?
Correct.
But
Correct.
if people who know me, and again, which part of me they know? right? If you truly, yeah, if you've just seen me on Facebook, of course you see all the nice things on Facebook, right?
Yeah.
But if you don't know me and if you don't like me, I think it's only fair. It's your right not to like me. So if people
Right.
say I
Right.
didn't like you, I will say it's okay.
Yeah.
Not because I don't care, you don't know me. So what is there for me to expect anything from you? Now if
Exactly.
now
Exactly.
if I get feedback from someone I care, I love, I respect, now that's going to hurt me.
Yeah.
And that hurt is necessary for me to grow.
Yeah.
Because if I
Exactly.
truly care for the relationship, I need to ask myself, am I willing to grow and change? Because change means growth,
Right. And change
right?
is painful, right?
Growth
Sometimes.
is, um, again, is perception now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we've dramatized a lot. I'm quite a drama queen. So
Can
it's
see
been,
that
I mean,
now.
yeah. It's a bit of but really, you need to ask yourself, is it painful or you're dramatizing the pain? I
That's
think
another one. Yeah.
it's necessary. It's like the Tamil movies when they give birth to children, right? They
Right.
dramatize the pain. I think a lot of people become horrified about having children,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Yeah, but it's sometimes the drama plays in your head to say that, oh no, she said this about me, which means that she's not going to love me. She's not going to, So there's a lot of drama in the head. Just need to
Yeah.
get rid of the drama, lah.
Right. Right.
Okay, so
Okay. So last
Jimmy,
question
yes,
from
yes.
GB again. Winning
Again, I'm
idea.
not allowed. Only one question allowed. Okay, what's
Yeah.
has there ever been a time? Yeah. So how did I do it? So feedback number one, number two.
Okay. Just let me say the question out for everybody. It's like
Mm,
it's when your child always want to tell you something, but they never have. So how do you handle that situation?
my children always have secrets.
Right.
Okay. So what I've learned is this: if my children have a secret, I have given them permission to have secrets.
Yeah. I think that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. My feedback for me is that what do I need to be so that my child feels that I will not judge him?
Hmm.
What do I need to become so that my child doesn't feel judged? Because if he
Right.
doesn't feel judged, he will
Yeah.
tell me,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Uh, and also, maybe my kids need to know that I'm not so fragile,
Right.
okay?
That you can
And
handle it.
you can handle it. It's because sometimes we are overreact, especially mothers, and we overreact to small. What did you lie to me? Uh,
Yeah.
you need to be cool. I mean, we need to act cool at least, lah. Inside,
Yeah.
right?
Correct.
So I
Right.
think I think so. We need to ask ourselves. I mean, I think if you're a parent, the best thing to do is remember yourself as a child.
Right.
If you had someone you could run to for to share your secrets,
Right.
your dark secrets,
Yeah.
you stole the pencil, you took
Yeah.
this, you did this naughty stuff, and you feel bad about it or good about it, and the person you ran to tell, you
Mm-hmm.
need to ask, what did that person do for you, or what was that person to you that you felt that it was okay?
Yeah.
And I think we just need to do that. But for me, the easiest one, because every child is different, every human is different. I and I ask this question to my children when they have secrets. I have a teenager. Can you imagine the number of secrets she has now?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So the question I ask my children is: so first I give them boundaries, what
Yeah.
they can be secretive about and what they
Yeah.
shouldn't, and
Yeah.
why.
Yeah.
Because I tell them whatever happens, I'm the one who's going to come to your rescue. Just get it, all
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
At one level,
Yes.
at the other level, and you need to do that for them.
Right. Right.
Show them that you will do that for them,
Yeah.
right? I think the next thing is really I ask my children, if you could tell me the secret, what do I need to become
Right.
so that you would tell me,
Mm.
all right?
Yeah.
Uh, and it works. It will take years, but it will work. If you start
Interesting.
now and by the time they become teenagers, they might tell you.
Mm. Okay.
Secrets in
I
childhood
will
doesn't
keep that
matter.
in my mind.
Yeah. Yes. guided EQ is actually really crucial now, especially during this period
Right.
where we are going to be home, right?
Right.
And when we get back, all right?
Mm-hmm.
So we run two programs which is very close to our hearts. One is emotional intelligence and well-being.
Okay.
So emotional intelligence, well-being, and resilience. These are the
Okay.
three major programs that's crucial at this point of time.
Okay.
So we're gathering our guts to do videos
Okay.
and
Yeah. This is one of your
gathering
earlier
our
ones.
yeah. So we're getting our guts to do the videos,
Right.
and we're going to
Awesome.
do
Awesome.
videos in modular form. We're
Okay.
going to do Zoom webinars.
Awesome.
So
Okay.
if you are interested,
Yeah.
please just DM me so that
Yeah.
I will pass you the link because we want to do it in small groups because we think the
True.
conversation is important, right?
True.